Thank you, everybody. How's everybody doing in Orlando? Yeah. So, my name is Tsai. I grew up in Surrey, British Columbia. For those of you that don't know, that's about 25 minutes away from Vancouver. As Dave said, I'm a former camper, youth leadership program graduate, as well as a camp counselor. My camp name was Steak Burger. My story starts off in the 1970s. My parents fled the Vietnam War and immigrated to Canada, eventually settling in Vancouver, British Columbia, where in 1988 I was born, followed by my younger brother and sister. About 8 years later, in 1996, my father was diagnosed with cancer and subsequently passed away. It was a crushing blow to our family. He was the breadwinner at home, and my mother was a stay-at-home mother. To make ends meet, we had to sell our house and move to Surrey, a rougher neighborhood of the Metro Vancouver area. After my father passed away, I went from being the sheltered golden child to becoming the man of the house. To my younger brother and sister. I did as much as I could as an 8-year-old child. Tried everything to do to help my mother. On some weekends, my brother and I would go to the local Safeway and sit around in the parking lot to look for stray shopping carts to collect quarters. And some weeks, we would go in alleyways and collect soda cans for deposits. This is how I lived and my family lived 18 years ago. We did the best we could with what we had. I'm 27 years old now, and it was 15 years ago since I went to the Tim Hortons Memorial Camp in Parry Sound. That summer, I learned how to be a kid again. I learned life skills that served me well throughout today. It was the first time I actually thought people cared about me. Before, no one asked if I was doing okay or how I was feeling. So most of the time, I just balled things up. For the 10 days I was at camp, I learned so many things. I come from, as you see, an immigrant household. So before camp, I ate, fried rice with chopsticks. I didn't really know what grilled cheese was or how to use utensils. So because of camp, I learned how to use a fork and knife. I still eat fried rice with chopsticks, but growing up, I missed a chance to be a kid. I had to grow up a lot sooner than I wished. And a lot of these children at camp, they're going through similar things. They have had to grow up because of their circumstances in life. And, I didn't have a typical childhood, and I'd wish it on nobody. And reflecting back at camp, my first time, it was just great to be a kid again, even if it was just for 10 days. A few years later, I got a call from Onondaga Farms to see if I wanted to go to the youth leadership program, and I accepted. That program taught me that my dreams could come true, that if I tried hard enough, that I can achieve anything I wanted. Because of this program, I applied to the University of British Columbia. For those of you that don't know, it's a top 30 research university in the world. And if you have asked me if I could see myself in university if I did not attend this program, I would have said, university is not for people like me. It's for smart people, for rich people. I never really thought I could have got in, but I did. I had average grades. I didn't have much savings. But with the help of the Tim Hortons Children's Foundation, I was able to offset some of the costs of tuition with bursaries every year. And because of your support, I was able to graduate with a Bachelor of Commerce in 2010 from the University of British Columbia. Not only that, in 2014, I graduated with a Master's of Engineering from Clemson University in South Carolina as well. For myself, I've been the first university graduate in my family. And because of all the support, I was able to mentor my younger brother and sister. And they're also now university graduates. In 2007, I also was a camp counselor. I first was a camp counselor at the Tim Hortons Ranch in Kananaskis, Alberta, and then at Camp Kentatton in Campbellsville, Kentucky. This is where I saw everything come full circle. From day one, where we picked up the children from the Tim Hortons stores onto the Tim Hortons bus, and on day 10, dropping them off. And it was a great experience to see. One of the things I most remember was that these children, they're very malleable. Like the smallest thing you can do will affect them. And for me, as cliche as it sounds, camp gave me hope. Without camp, I would have never found my passion in life. I love aviation, and if I had not gone to camp 15 years ago, as a little kid at the Tim Hortons Memorial Camp, I don't know where I'd be today. I now work for MTU Aero Engines in their maintenance division. They're the consortium that builds and maintains V2500 engines on the A320 aircraft. So if any of you flew on Air Canada, JetBlue, Southwest, I may have had a hand in keeping your aircraft up in the air. You know, for MTU as an inventory and asset strategy supervisor, what I do is I take big data and I find ways to manage an $8 million budget. So whether it's to hedge commodities indexes or try to lock in a contract, you know, we're seeing analytics every day in order to help our customers reduce costs. You know, as one of 1,000 kids that have gone through this program since 1974, you know, just think of how many great things, you know, we're doing for our families, our communities in Canada and the US. You know, because of you, I've been able to mentor, you know, the kids at camp, my brother, my sister, and also support my mother so she doesn't have to work so hard in the future. My mother still lives in Tsai, where my siblings and I, we each have a hand in helping her with her mortgage. And all I have to say is, you know, thank you. You know, thank you for being part of this organization. And without your support, myself, my family, and the rest of the children wouldn't have an opportunity to discover their best. So thank you.